Hi, my name is Matt Newmark and I'm Owner-Chief Instructor of Elite Defense Systems. I'd like to welcome you to this video series so you can just kind of get a quick little education on what exactly to look for when you're looking for a martial arts school and or self-defense instruction. I want to point these out, and obviously I kind of came up with a little bit of a nickname for these videos. I obviously don't want to insult any other martial arts academy or school or even instructor, obviously. But what I do want to do is I want to make sure we educate the public. I'll be the first one to admit that what we teach and obviously our school is not meant for everybody. And so hopefully these series of videos here will really educate you, the either student or potential student, on finding out what is the best school for you and or your child or even your family as well. The first thing that I'm going to point out here is first helping people realize that there's actually 3 different types of schools when we take a look at different martial arts schools and self-defense programs. The first one that we have here is what's called a traditional martial arts school. Now, a traditional martial arts school is great in the fact of you're able to really dive into a particular culture or lineage or history of a particular martial art. The downside is that many of those martial arts are just not relevant today as far as being able to really teach people the necessary skills to take care of today's threats and assaults and bullying issues and things like that. It's great because those martial arts obviously were very, very effective hundreds if not thousands of years ago, but obviously as times have changed, so has the needs have changed as well. I'm not saying that there's not added benefit with the discipline that they may be able to really help especially younger kids out with and things like that, but obviously there's the downside of just kind of going through a lot of extra information that may not be very, very relevant to today's needs. The second kind of martial arts school that you're able to find is those sports-centered schools. The great thing about that is that it is very combative. The downside is that because it's combative, many of those schools and instructors run very unsafe program, and the percentage of injury really, really increases, especially when you compare it to the traditional martial arts schools. The last kind of martial arts school you're going to be able to find here is what we call the realistic martial arts schools, and that's actually what we are here at Elite Defense Systems. Once again, this is not saying that one is better than the other, but the great thing about realistic martial arts schools is the simple fact that, first of all, there's not a whole lot of them, and I know it may not seem as a positive, but there's a reason why, is that the regimen and the standards that we are held up to, what we have to go through for a certification process, is usually quite time consuming. So usually if you're able to find these schools or find these instructors, they have really put in their time, they have put in their blood, sweat, and tears to get certified in order to raise a school. I'm not saying that these people or these instructors at those previous schools have not put in the time to become the black belts or the certification levels that they have become, but once again, there's a reason why not a whole lot of these schools exist, obviously. Also, another thing I want to point out is the pluses here from a realistic martial arts school. From my vantage point, I might be a little bit biased, but this is also what my students convey to me as well, is that they have the positives of these previous other 2 schools without having the negative side effects. One or 2 examples I want to point out here is that with the realistic schools, we're able to take what the traditional schools have gotten as far as their organization, as far as their benefits and discipline, and developing honor and respect within their students, but at the exact same time, we don't go through the whole long line of lineage and culture and history. So if a person doesn't want to go through that or have their child go through that, we might be a great option as far as that goes. We are able to train intensely but also safely as well. So therefore we're able to once again take on the positive benefits but also not have the negative side effects of the sports schools. So to kind of sum things up here, I just want to state that once again, finding the realistic schools might be a little bit more difficult. If you take a look at all martial arts schools as a whole, you'll find that about 60 to 70% of schools around the world actually would fall within that traditional martial arts kind of school category. About 20 or 25% would fall in the sports-centered school. However, that number is rising and will continue to rise over the next probably 10 to 20 years. On the other hand, the balance, the small balance there, that is really to be found in those categories of the realistic type. And once again, here at Elite Defense Systems, we are the realistic type. So based off of that information, I would probably start off with the question is, what do you want and what do you want to focus on, whether it be for you or your child within your self-defense and martial arts training? That will help you kind of accomplish what this kind of little video did here, is to help you find out the answer to that question. So once again, stay with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the second video here.